everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. And today is new project day. Yes! Yes! So we got a new project that we're going to be revealing to you any moment now. But before we do, this is the first in the UK. I've not seen any other repair channel that has engaged or has purchased this type of vehicle. Okay, there's a clue, because I've searched. It's been done in the US, but never in the UK. So I'm proud to bring you the first of this kind, and the reason why will become clear. But you know what, let's go and see what the new car is. So there you have it, the GTE and all the issues on the vehicle. We can resolve those. So let's talk about why I've chosen this car and why you don't see any other YouTuber potentially in the UK dealing with this type of car. Well, number one, it's a hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid, so the battery on the vehicle is 100 horsepower. The petrol engine is 150 horsepower, so you can drive for about 30 miles on the electric engine or electric motor before you then will drive full-time on the petrol engine. Now, I've had some experience with electric vehicles, and that's one of the reasons why I've gone with this car. Plus the fact it's a GTE, so it's the best of both worlds. You can run it in combined mode and get 204 brake horsepower out of the box, and it will chip to about 285, which is where I want to take the car. And that's another reason why I wanted to invest in this vehicle. Plus it's more comfortable than the TT. That's a given. It's based on the same chassis as the S3. They're pretty much the same cars. So the wheels on the S3 will be going on the Golf for now, and then we'll probably look at something a little later on. But the reason why a lot of YouTubers, I feel, avoid these vehicles because they don't understand electrics and hybrid systems. I have a good understanding of the hybrid systems, and when I assessed this car, I assessed that this car was not damaged, or the hybrid system itself isn't damaged. Yes, the VCDS says that the system has been shut down, but we can reset that and get that running. There is another issue with the car which we'll talk about next week, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people have been put off this vehicle, but I found out how to fix this and why this issue here. But truly next week you'll see more about that. But yeah, a lot of people generally, they're scared of handling hybrid cars, and also there's the fact that a lot of you guys are proper petrol heads like I am, hence the reason why the hybrid, the GTE, is a good compromise, because you've still got a petrol engine, but you've also got the benefits of hybrids. And if you've ever driven an electric car before, you will know that you get maximum torque at 0 RPM, so you get massive jolts of power. It's a bit like a diesel, but without the smoke and bellow that goes with it. So it's a great solution. And let's face it, 2030 you will not be able to buy, the only car with a petrol engine you're going to be able to buy is a plug-in hybrid or PHEV vehicle. So you might as well embrace it now, and that's what I have done. So this is definitely going to be a very challenging vehicle, and hopefully you will learn a lot from what we're going to discover on this vehicle. I've learned a tremendous amount in the short time that I've had this car, and that's one of the reasons why I delayed bringing the car on the channel, because I wanted to do additional research on the vehicle. Now obviously the biggest thing that scares a lot of people, and rightly so, is that electric vehicles produce a lot of ampage, because you need a lot of ampage to drive those vehicles, and it's ampage that kills you. So we will need to handle any electrical work that we do with care, and that means getting the appropriate gloves, rubber gloves that can withstand if we have a electrical leak, etc. But it shouldn't come to that, because we're not really going to be dealing with electrical systems to that extent, purely more so than it will be on a reset basis. However, like I said, next week I'm going to show you something which is why I think this car went for as least money as it went. It didn't go for as much as I expected it to go, and I made an offer. This car isn't from an auction house, by the way. It's not from Copart, it's not from ASM, it's from an independent. So yes, there you go. So that is the car in a nutshell. Anyway, let's go back and have a look at the things that are wrong with this vehicle. Some of them are pretty obvious, as you've seen when we've gone around the car, but let's go and take a look in more detail. This front bumper might need replacing. I don't think this front wing here is going to polish out. This wheel's looking a little worse for wear. I'm pretty sure that these wires shouldn't be cut like this. I'm not sure I should be able to see the inside of the door through the outside of the door. That door gap is absolutely seamless. The edge here in the door may need just a little bit of attention. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to have that ripple effect like that. This back wheel looking slightly a little bit bent. Plus the fact it's got a few things in there and they ain't gonna buff out. The rear bumper, yeah, that definitely needs some attention. Airbags need replacing. In fact, the whole dashboard needs replacing. I don't think that's a very good warning sign. Yeah, definitely not good. Plus this wing here, and I don't know how, also is a little bit banged up, which I don't think will be pulled out very easy. But my biggest issue of all, VW badge is missing from the front.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me!
That's a travesty. Someone's taken the VW badge. And of course, no expensive repair on a car will be complete without the LED headlights being totally smashed on this side and on this side too. And it's just this little piece here that's smashed, so it's gonna let water in, isn't it? So we gotta replace the whole headlight, unless someone can tell me that they can repair that. But other than that, the car is absolutely fine. So one of the challenges that we have with this car is the gap here in the door. As you can see, as I mentioned earlier, it is very tight. Now the door does open and it is damaged, clearly. But I think the reason why it is so tight is because, let me shut the door. The reason why I think it's so tight is because whatever's hit this side here has actually pulled the door along, and I'm making that assumption by the gaps in the car. So if you look here, hopefully you can see that the gap here, there's a bit of a gap, and clearly there's a gap here. Now this is sitting slightly proud, you can see that here, and obviously it's because it's been damaged, but it is pretty much in place. Look at the gap here, that's a massive gap. So I'm thinking what's happened is that the door has been pulled rather than the A-pillar being pulled, or this post down here, because looking at the here, I've taken the wheel off for this, it doesn't look damaged, it doesn't look like it's been pushed back, but we'll know for sure when we take the wing off next week. But that's what I'm guessing has happened here. So the door's been pulled back, and just behind here, you can't see it, but there's a hinge, and I think that the hinge, because it lays flat, it's actually been pulled, because the hinge does have adjustment to allow the door to sit correctly. So the door's been pulled back. The back door is sitting correctly because the gap in the back is absolutely fine. In fact, you can see, just see it here. So it's just here. But we'll know that for sure when we take this off here. We can inspect the pill, like I said. So yeah, that's my only concern really, this door and that I know we can repair. If this has been pulled back, then that means that this car is going to have to be jigged. I mean, it's going to go on the jig anyway to get that sorted, but it just obviously increases the cost of the repair. But other than that, everything else in the car is absolutely fine. So I'm imagining that the car was hit like this, and it's torn whatever that is, and then damaged the back there. That's what I'm imagining the impact. The bonnet miraculously escaped damage, although it does have a couple of dings on there. You may just be able to see them, one here and one here, but I think that might be a separate incident rather than from this impact here. So yeah, so that is now everything that you know about, or everything that I know about. Probably find some more when we start taking stuff apart, but essentially that is the damage on the car. So that's all the things that is wrong with this vehicle. There's one other thing, but like I said, you'll see what that is next week, and that's the reason why this vehicle hopefully doesn't start. But next week you'll find out about that. So you're looking at the damage. It's obviously that the car's been sideswiped, and whether that was done on a motorway or something, it looks like the groove at the back is like it's hit a central reservation or something, but that's a little bit too low where the damage is. And the rip in the door is a very interesting one. So if anyone knows what's happened to this car, be interested. I'm just interested, really, nosy rather than anything. Good. Okay, so we've got quite a few things coming up on this car, as you can see, over the next few weeks. So it should make quite an interesting project, particularly diagnosing some of the EV issues on the vehicle as well, and hopefully it'll give you some insight for your own projects and confidence to buy an EV car. So yeah, next week the work starts in earnest, and the first thing we need to do is to find out if the lower subframe is true or not, and the easiest way to do that is to change the lower wishbone. If it goes straight in without any issues, then that tells us that the subframe hasn't been damaged. I've done this several times before, and then taken it to an alignment and found that it's perfectly fine, as long as the subframe hasn't been damaged in any way, and you can find that out by just fitting a wishbone. If it doesn't fit, if it fits in without any alteration or anything, you know, and all the screws goes in with no problem, that's a good sign. And I'm feeling kind of confident that that is the case with this vehicle. So like I said, lots to look forward to. Hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of the project below, and look forward to your comments. Don't forget to subscribe down here as well, guys. Click on that bell notification so that you're notified when we drop a new video on this car. I think it's going to be good, because not only are we going to repair this vehicle, but we are also going to be modding it. Yes, we will be modding it, and some of the repairs on this vehicle, it's going to require a body shop, definitely, particularly on that lower sill, because yeah, that definitely needs to be sorted out professionally. I'm not going to attempt to do that. You know what my body works like. Anyway, enough waffling. We'll see you next week, guys. Have a good one.